You guys, why don't we take about, I think maybe 10 minutes and get with, or maybe even less than that depending, get with one or two people that are around you and share what you wrote and see what questions you have of one another about what you wrote. You can read out loud what you wrote, you can share your writing, however you want to do it. I'm not picky about that, but I want you to at least share with one or two other people about what you're thinking, kind of what your project is, what you got out of it, whether you think this is something you might want to write about. Okay, so let's talk for maybe like 7 to 10 minutes, okay? We can go around, yeah, we can go around. So you guys, let's talk a little bit about what you, questions you have that came up in your discussion or things you're thinking about. One person had a really good question about how often the journal is published. Usually the journal is published about once a year, just because it takes a long time for the production process, and also it takes a long time for students to revise, right? So, you're in coursework and everything, and you write this article or essay, which is great, but then you have to revise it, right? So it's hard enough to write the article and then have to get the feedback and then have to revise it and do all the copy edits. So it takes a while. So we try to only do it once a year just because for students' schedules. And that's usually in the fall. So like I said, this is last fall's journal that you have a copy of. But the new issue is going to come out literally in like a week, 2 weeks at the most. It's already on the website. If you go to the website, maybe you should pull up the website to show them. It's already on the website, so you can see it there and see what it looks like in the articles that are in it. There it is. So you'll go there, and you can see we've got reflective essays, we've got research with reflection, community partner snapshots, a profile interview. So these are all the newest ones that are coming out. And I think there's at least a couple of EPICS in there. I know there are that are on that. So what kinds of questions came up or your things you're thinking about? Yes, go ahead.
Questions came up about the long-term impacts of our project.
Great question. Great question. What did you all talk about in your pair?
We're on the same team.
Oh, great. Yeah, great.
Sort of.
Like a
Our
team,
team's split into two.
Okay, your team split into two. Yeah.
But we were talking about like the long-term impacts in the community and how it would like, so like for my part of the project, it would impact like a little bit more economically, hopefully in the long run. But for him, it would be like maybe more like family and community bringing together and like teaching kids about like long-term about like how to be more creative and things like that.
That's great. So that's a great example of some reflection that you're doing together, right? And a group is thinking about, what are the impacts? Is it just, it's going to help kids? Or is it going to go to be more than that? Maybe you won't see the results right away, and maybe it'll take, a few years to impact economically, or maybe there'll be a different short-term than a long-term impact on the community, right? Same thing with your learning too, just to let you know, because right now you may not even be aware of what you're learning, but I'll tell you, 5 years from now you might look back on that class that you thought you didn't learn a thing in and that you didn't like, and find out it was the most valuable course that you took. Or you might think, this EPICS experience, I'm just doing this, and then again, 10 years from now, you'll look back and realize, oh my gosh, that was preparing me for the work I'm doing today. You just don't realize that. I'm the same way, you guys. So I remember classes I took as a graduate student. I was like, why did I take that? And now I'm like, man, that was an important class, right? So what else? What else did you share in your pairs, or you have, or what questions do you have about the journal or publishing? Go ahead. That is a picture of one of the people who are featured in the journal, and I think it's the article about, I didn't publish this article, yes, about Eric Evans, who's in, it's a sketch, I think it's at the beginning, or maybe, these are sketches. So I think if you look at the next page, here you open, I can't do it with the pen. You had it. It's community partner snapshot. So he's a community partner who works, I think, in a community garden. If you go look at what does it say under there? Yeah, he's looking after vegetables in a greenhouse. So he is in, I think he's in one of these. He might be in this one. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I just came on as editor in January, so this was already in production. So I'm not as familiar with this one as yeah. It's on the, it's on one of the community engagement partnerships out of, I think, it might be the one out of IU, or Purdue Northwest, yeah. Purdue Fort Wayne. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes.
How long does the process take from getting the acceptance?
So here's what we usually do. We usually try to make an abstract deadline in February. And I think we're getting ready to do a press release. We're probably going to have it due like the 1st of February. And then your article will come out by the fall, so by October, hopefully. It seemed to take a little bit longer. Like we thought we were going to get the print version in the beginning of October, but it took a little longer to get a proof copy in. It took like 2 weeks to get that in, and we wanted to look at that. So it took a little bit longer than we thought it was going to. So I would say by October, so February to October, actually, which is pretty rapid in academic publishing, believe it or not, because anybody else who's any familiarity with that, it can take a long time. Good question, though. Thank you for asking that. What about the rest of you? Anybody else have any other questions? We're about out of time, I think. Oh,
So
go ahead.
Do we have to have, like, if we had, you said we could have a writing mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to get them approved?
No. Anybody can be your writing mentor. Anybody can be your writing mentor. It's hopefully somebody you're working
And
with.
then also for the art one, would you have a mentor, like the?
No, you wouldn't have a mentor for that. But if you guys have, artwork, photography, anything that you think would make a really good piece of cover art or back cover, you can always reach out and just email me. You can also, and I think this is on the last slide with our emails, isn't it, Wayron? You can always reach out to Wayron or me and ask questions. I mean, I heard a lot of different projects that I think would be great essays or research articles or community partner snapshots. So please don't feel like you can't reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. You can send me an email. I'm pretty good about responding to email in like 24 hours, so is Wayron. And send an email and say, hey, I'm interested in this, but I'm not sure. Or, hey, I've got this photograph. What do you think? And I can tell you whether it would be good enough. There's some resolution requirements for that, too. So you guys, if you are interested in publishing, you can turn this in. I asked you guys to put your name and email on it so I can reach out and just say, hey, send us something, right, if you're interested, right? So if you want to turn this in or you want our feedback on it, you want us to help you figure out how to develop it, you can turn that paper in. But otherwise, you can take it with you and think about publishing. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it. I think y'all are out of time, right? Yep. 1:20? Yeah.